Right, hello. Let me switch over my scene. Wait, why? Hold on. Don't restore that flight. Oh, okay. Sorry, I gotta get something else loaded. Let's see. Flight planning. Load last sim brief. There we go. That's fine. Okay. So. That should all show up on the overlay now. I have pre-filed. I don't know why. Streaming? Why is this not working? Overlay. Come on, I set you up the other day. You were working just fine. What? Why is it being dumb now? Hold on a second. I don't know why this thing is being Hello? Okay, I just have to refresh the cache, I guess. There we go. Okay, now we got map. We got a map. We got our overlay. Cool. I don't know what that was about. Alright, and it's saying I didn't pre-file on VATSIM, but I definitely did. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna copy this stuff. Let's see. Yeah, it's fine, actually. Just gonna leave it. Nobody wants you open Java. Get out of here, Discord. Alright, everything else looks fine. What do I need to do? Oh, I need to load up the flight plan on the actual, smart cars. There we go. Otherwise, I can't track it at all. My speed is not 3 knots. I don't know why it says I'm moving right now. I definitely am not moving. Definitely not moving right now. I'm stuck in place. Oh, and I need to change the... For God's sake. Alright, hold on. Okay, yes, I want to plan with SimBrief and retrieve the latest flight plan. Okay, now I have the weight and balance that we need. What was I gonna do? I just realized I needed to do
At Kuroyukin, thanks for your guess. 1 entries.
Thanks, Kuro. Also, anything above 550 doesn't count. So hopefully it's not 621. It'll probably be somewhere around 200 or 300 if I were to guess.
Lone Palaf, Lone Palaf, Lone Palaf, Lone
Why is it
Palaf, Lone
reading
Palaf.
emotes? Thanks. Thanks, TTS bot. Okay, I have it open, by the way, because I need...
So, one,
Hi, Biggie. How you doing? I have the overlay thing open, so I can't see the OBS. What was I doing right now? What was I gonna do? I was like, oh, I need to open this. Oh, I need to open vPilot, I guess?
Imgun Cell 1 Sniffer.
Nice. Okay, we're gonna be Air Shuttle 615, so ASA 615. We're in 737-800. Okay, we got our flight plan. Las Vegas to PDX. We're gonna squawk 1310. Let me just put that in real quick. I need to turn the battery on first. So, battery on. Arm the emergency lights. brakes, and 1310. 1. Okay. There we go. I feel like I need to do something else. I don't remember what it is, but I feel like I need to load something else, but I guess we'll figure it out if I get there. Okay, let me get the...
Too realistic, Cell 1 cringe.
Yeah. The realism is too much. Alright, we'll set the parking brakes. Oh, that's right. That's what I need to do. I need to change the controls. Because it is set for single yoke. I'll do the multi. There we go. Applying safe. Go back. Okay, and then we should be able to do these individually and that. Okay, great. Great. Okay, now let me get the weight and balance set in this thing, and then we can actually start recording the flight. So my block fuel is going to be 19, 864. Okay, 43%. That's fine. Cool. And then we'll go down to payload, and oh, actually, hold on. Before I do that, why are they getting in on the stairs? No, jetway. Stupid thing. Okay, let's request the ground power and request the jetway. Should be moving in. There we go. That's another person. Oh wait, no, it's not. Shit. Hold on. I gotta turn the traffic off. There we go. Otherwise, all my planes show up for videos. Alright, there we go. Alright, jetway's connected. All that stuff's connected. We got our ground power on. I just don't want to drain the batteries, so I'll just flip to ground power. Okay, then we'll go over to payload. I'm expecting to take... How many passengers? Hold on, I gotta go to my
Scrum,
flight.
don't forget my luggage. Someone replaced my luggage with a traffic cone at the last airport I went to.
I'll try not to. I'll try. Okay. I don't know who that was. That was just some dude. I don't know. We're looking at 124 passengers, so we'll take 8 first class. And then, what, 116? That's good there. Okay. Actually, let me just... How about I just look at the, How about I just look at this flight plan, and we'll just do it that way. Okay, so... My... Zero fuel weight is gonna be 121.2. Bam. Okay, so now it just adjusted all that stuff, so that should be the correct weight. So now, if I click fly, okay. We're going altitude 360. I need to get the ground or the ATC frequencies. Let me just pull up the radar real quick. There is another plane.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard.
Hello?
Please ensure that you fastened your seatbelt, return your seat back and folding trays to their full upright
Who the fuck
position,
is this?
and store your
Okay,
carry-on
whatever.
luggage in either the overhead bins or under the seat in front of you.
Alright,
If
let me
you're
see
seated
what
next to an
my
emergency exit, please carefully read the special
frequency needs
instructions
to be. It needs
located
to be
near that exit.
119.9.
If you do not wish to perform any of the functions described in the event of an emergency, please
I'll
inform
just
crew
put that in
members so you may
here.
be reseated. At this time, we request that all portable electronic devices, such as cell
I'll
phones or
just put the
portable
Unicom
computers,
in as
be either
backup,
powered off
because I'm
or
going
put
to
into
switch to that
airplane
next
mode,
anyway.
as these devices may cause interference with
Unicom in.
aircraft's navigation
Alright, we got people
communication
boarding.
equipment.
Let
We
me
will
get the
notify
flight
you when
plan
it is
loaded
safe to
up.
continue the
And
use
also,
of these
I'm gonna
devices.
load it up on
We
this.
remind you that smoking aboard this
Bam.
aircraft, as well as tampering with, disabling,
Wait, what?
or destroying laboratory smoke
Please enter your
detectors
sim brief.
is prohibited by law.
Fuck's sake.
If you have any questions about our flight, please don't hesitate to ask a crew member. Thank you for your attention.
Yeah, okay, so... I have to sign in to Navigraph? Oh, for God's sake. Give me 1 second. They updated, so... Forward slash code. I'm gonna sign in. We might be a little late. Alright, code's gonna be 7EL KFNs. Nice. Okay, now we're signed into Navigraph. I can request this flight. There we go, there it is. We can pull up the departure data. Let's see, it's gonna be altimeter 2984. Okay, one thing at a time here. One thing at a time. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, let's load the flight plan first. Okay. One thing at a time. Let's set this on to ground services. Okay. And also, here, look. These guys are gonna load up your luggage, okay? So this way it's not me doing it. Alright? There. We'll set those guys to do that. Okay. Let's go to the FMC. Nav data is not out of date. I don't know why it says that, but KLAS. I'll have to check it again off stream because I don't want it to break right now because that would be a nightmare. Okay, position is aligned, so we can go and flip this over. We can go to origin is Las Vegas, and we are going to KPDX. And we can request this. Oh, nice. It's saved here, but I can also retrieve the sim brief route. That's new. I like that. Can I request? Yeah. That's cool. That's a new thing. I like that. I'm hoping the plane didn't change much, because there was an update, but I'll set the altimeter 2984. 2984, yes. Okay. We can go ahead and load our flight plan. Air Shuttle 615, yep, that is the right one. Oh. We can activate, load that, bam bam. Should have all of our stuff in. Just to make sure, I'm just gonna double check. So we have departure. It's actually not selected anything correctly, so hold on. Right. This one. I don't know. Hold on, I gotta look at the sim brief one because I don't know how to read this thing. Right, so we are expecting runway 26 for departure, normally 28 left for arrival, 26 right. So 26 right, we'll just go select this in the thing. Okay, and we're gonna be doing a Rat Pack 3. Nice. Rat Pack 3 departure, Frank transition. Frank. However you say that. Frank? Frank. Maybe it's Frank. Okay. Then we're gonna expect it. What? 28 left? ILS 28 left. I don't know, I'd have to look at the chart. We can always just select one for now. Here, how about I just look at it? Arrival. So we're expected to be on the Hood 5. So that's gonna be the Hood 5 via the Jotba. So we'll go here. And then that, I can't see. Here we go. So we need to go to Shafter. Schaefer. Right here. We're good. So we're expected 2-8 left, so expecting 2-8 left. Yeah, okay, so Schaefer transition. So on the Hood 4, it's actually not on there. Oh, Schaefer, here we go. We're actually in the Hood 5, so I guess it's not updated. That's fine. I'll just pull up the legs. We'll just get rid of these discontinuities. Which I know is like not the right way to do it, but I don't care. Okay. I don't care. Okay. Runway 28 left. Let's just look at the ILS real quick. So we're coming in from the Schaefer side. So it'll be to Reedy. So Schaefer, Reedy. Okay, yep, we got that. Okay, now we'll go into initial reference. We'll just click this 0 fuel weight button. We'll put in 7.5 of an hour for reserves. Cost index. I actually don't know what my cost index. Oh, 64. Okay, here we go. 64 on the cost index. Cruise altitude is going to be 360. And we can execute that. We can go over to N1 limit. That's fine. We'll just do normal takeoff. We'll do flaps 5. And then we got our V speeds pulled down. Nice, nice. Okay, cool. That looks good to me. Right, yeah, so here you go. Girl, these guys are taking care of your luggage now. They're ghosts, but don't worry about it, okay? We'll just pretend they loaded you up. So I gotta get those things out of there. Okay, let's set our stuff, our autopilot up, so we'll just go straight to 360 because there is no autopilot or no ATC, so I don't need to follow any special instructions. We'll just expect 360. We'll set this to 250 for now. We'll turn our flight directors on. Anything I'm forgetting on this? I don't think so. Oh, thank you for the points. Okay, let's get the APU turned on. So we'll just turn on the left aft pump. Also click like that. Okay. Okay. We have pressure, so we can start the APU up. I'll turn the APU bleed on. And the packs to auto. So whenever that starts up here, if we don't have an APU failure,
Oh, whoa.
hey, how's it going? Okay, there we go. APU started now. Alright, we'll put 360 here, and then we are gonna put landing altitude. Airport elevation 31 feet. Amazing. Alright, we'll just put 50 in. Because that's all I can do. Okay, we got our what's our runway? 26 right, so it's probably gonna be close to 260. So we'll just look at the airport chart again. Because this should give me the actual runway heading. So I'll just zoom in on this. 26 right. It's going to be 259 is the actual heading. So we'll just put that in here. to have backups. Alright, APU is started, good. Oops, gotta turn the collision light on. We can turn the APU gens on. Turn the other fuel pumps on, crossfeed on, center pumps on. If we have fuel in the center, we do have a little bit. That's good. We can turn these pumps on and the APU bleed on. There we go. We can
Not
turn.
gonna lie, I'm glad I found someone who ISNT flying the A380XX.
Oh, I have the A380, but man, it's so difficult, like, for me to try and figure out. Like, I got it off the ground, but I don't know if it was my controls, but every time I would go forward on the throttle, right? So I have two throttles. Every time I would go forward, it would reverse thrust the frickin' throttles. I was like, what? Why is this happening? So I'm just blaming the game for that, and I'm just like, there's also so many people flying the A380 right now. Just like, nope, we're flying something else. Okay, what is my text path gonna be here? So we've got, I guess, taxi from terminal via Charlie 6, I guess we can take, and then Bravo. Bravo 1? It's not Bravo 1 here. I don't know why it's not labeled, but we'll just take that. That's fine. Okay, let's get the gate. Oh, actually, let me plan my pushback here. Yeah. I like Boeing aircraft more. Like, when I get my ratings, all my ratings, I actually don't want to fly Airbus. All right, we'll just push back to here. There's nobody else, so just that's good to me. I'll just accept that, and we can release the jetway. And we can release ground power as well. Jetway's gone. Ground power is disconnected.
I prefer Boeing myself. I'm in love
Nice.
with the 777-300 or over the 787.
Oh yeah, I just got the 777.
Kinda love the 738 and 739 ton.
Nice. I haven't flown the 739, but or 737-900, I guess. I've flown the 787 a little bit, but I got the 777. I'm just waiting to get enough hours in this virtual airline to be able to actually fly it.
Cockpit to
Okay,
ground.
let's get our pushback.
Ground. Stand by.
Heyo.
Hey North, how's it going? Alright, we got our pushback, dude.
How are you?
Doing alright.
Smile.
We just chilling.
But don't even get me started on the CRJ tricky angle.
I have the CRJs, and whenever I would idle the power back on landing, anything past 25%, the engines just die. And then
Okay, sir.
I
The bypass
stalled,
pin is
crashed. It's
installed.
like,
All
well, I
doors and
can't, so I
hatches
can't
closed
fly
and
that
all
on the
ground
virtual
equipment is
airline.
removed.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
All right, we're gonna lift up the
Parking
nose
brakes
here.
set. Lifting the aircraft.
I don't think that's actually simulated. It is exterior
We're
simulated.
cleared for start and push.
Oh,
Okay, cleared for push
chocks
start.
are down.
Please
Let's
release
remove the
parking
chocks.
brake.
I don't like that. All right,
Parking
brakes
brakes are
released.
released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
All right, we'll start
Yeah,
number
we'll start in the
2
sequence.
first. I think is the correct procedure.
Ladies and gentlemen, on
Alright,
behalf of
turn
the
the right
captain
peck
and
off,
crew,
and
welcome
we'll wait
aboard.
for
Please
20
make sure
on
that your
into.
seat backs and trays are in their full upright position. Also, ensure that your seatbelt is correctly fastened. As well, any electronic equipment must be
You
turned
can
off.
lift?
Thanks
Let me
and have a
lift the
great
tail
flight.
off the ground and put you in the air like steam. I'm sorry. I had to get it out of my system alone.
Yeah, we just fly around. The tail's like a helicopter. Helicopter route. Alright, looks like we got a good start on 2. We can go ahead and start at
Tails,
1 real quick.
where's Sonic?
Nice.
All my dream come true. A mouse stewardess read all my sentences. Please fasten your seatbelt and get ready to take off.
That's right.
Mr. Boy, yes, we serve coffee after we take off. Please sit down.
I just have the TTS on in case I miss anything because I'm really bad about reading chat sometimes, so. And also, if I have to pull other windows up, I can't see my second monitor, so. Alright. Pushback looks good. Engine starts look good. Sure, yeah, we take everybody on the plane, why not? Alright, I'm just gonna do a quick control check. Full up, full down, full left, full right, and full left and right.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Brakes down and set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Parking brake
Yeah,
set.
I actually have
Lowering aircraft.
a TTS VTuber. Oh, see, it lowers it. Nice. Okay.
Ground. Startup is complete.
I see.
You may disconnect.
I have this one.
Roger. Good engine start.
I need to
Clear
figure out how to
disconnect.
feed the
See you at the side.
TTS
Have a
to
good flight.
Vito Tube.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
I just need to figure that out. Okay. Push back. You have been pushed back. Sorry. We can flip the gens on. Flip the taxi light on. We can turn the engine.
I was gonna
leads
say,
on,
if you don't
taxi.
harpies, I want a refund.
Right. Everything's
That's why Ms.
over.
Mouse stewardess on the plane. Mr. Passengers, get ready to take off Slim Air 101. Soon we do a barrel roll, do the turbulence, have fun.
No, no barrel rolls. I can't do that. I'm on the I'm on bed set. No barrel rolls. All right. Las Vegas ground Air Shuttle 615 taxiing from Delta Gates via Charlie 6 Bravo to runway 26 right. All right. Hopefully they got that. I didn't actually check if VPilot was receiving anything. Okay, I think I accidentally closed VPilot. Give me 2 seconds. What the hell? I accidentally closed VPilot or it crashed.
Vale, time to make my own flight. I can't trust some of these passengers to not give ideas to the pilot and co-pilot Tricky off.
Okay. Oh, oops, I connected wrong? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Stop. Stop.
Damn, since
Stop,
when the
stop, stop,
dog's
stop.
able to fly a plane? D.
I connected to the network wrong. Hold on. It's ASA, not ASH. There we go. Now I'm on correctly. Let's do the call again. Either I accidentally closed VPilot or it crashed.
Spin Spy 5 AE.
Go with speed.
Beep, beep. This is Eurocars. Here's your flight information.
Yeah,
Take it
get
and
the
get the
fuck
hell out
outta
of
here.
my airspace.
Since when did dogs fly? I don't know. Since today, I guess.
Hoo-oo-hoo.
Alright, let's call that again. Las Vegas traffic Air
I'm
Shuttle
Nicola.
615 taxiing from
Hello.
Delta Gates via Charlie 6 Bravo 1 holding short runway 26
54
right.
hard.
Okay. Cool. Alright, let's near the heck out of here. Alright. Brakes released.
How are you, dear Kuro?
Get a little power in and we can take that out. Right back out again. Hello JB. Oh
Reset
my goodness,
started.
what a time.
Predictions have been reset.
What a time.
Not too mad. No complaints.
Alright, let me give you a shout out, JB. How you doing? How was
If
That
you
was
haven't
good.
yet, check out and follow Just Be Gaming _ for being an awesome person. Thank you for
BTS.
your support.
okay, good.
Wait, Captain, new passengers arrived to the Slim Air.
Yep, we gotta wait
I'm
for
doing
it.
alright. So tired right now,
Oh, this is your spooky game. Is this the Bork? Death by Bork? Oh no, Death by Faster.
Heyo, I just beginning underscore.
Fucking bastard. No, it doesn't mean.
Nice. We killed JB with a Bork. Anyway, welcome in. We are flying
Why
from
did
Las
TTS
Vegas
change your voice from
to.
the old one? Yes, you did kill me with a Borklow.
Oh, I
If
could
can get
select
everyone's attention,
the
we'll now
voice
review
that I
safety
wanted,
information
and I chose that
regarding
one.
the flight today. When you see the seatbelt
I
sign
just
on
gotta
gate,
have
you
the
must
taxi
fasten your
diagram because
seatbelt.
I'm
Insert the
dumb
metal
and
fitting,
really bad
one
at
into the
remembering
other,
things.
and tighten by
Taurus
pulling on the loose
57
end of the
Reinhardt.
strap. You can release your seatbelt by
Okay.
lifting the upper portion of the buckle. It's preferred that you keep
Alright,
your
I'm
seatbelt
gonna keep that little
fastened
screw
throughout
on the
flight
dash lined up
due to
with the
turbulence.
center
There
line
are
here.
several emergency exits throughout this plane.
Hopefully I'm taxing
Please
correctly.
take a moment to locate
Captain,
your
can you
closest
decrease the
exit.
volume of the
In some
music?
cases,
I can,
your nearest
yes.
exit might be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, floor level lighting will guide you toward the available exit. Doors can be opened by moving the handle
Oh,
in the
maybe I
direction
should
of
take
the
the
arrow.
wide lane. I'm
Each
just
door is
kidding, we're
equipped
taking the
with
wide
an
lane.
inflatable slide which can be detached and used as a life
Please,
raft.
thank you very much,
Oxygen
Papa.
and air pressure are always monitored throughout the flight. If decompression occurs,
Oh, my
an
volume was
oxygen
at 2,
mask will fall
that's
from
why.
the ceiling in front of you.
Okay.
To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you and place it firmly over your mouth and nose. Secure the elastic band behind your head and breathe normally. It might seem like
Macho
the bag
has
isn't
arrived.
inflating, but oxygen
He
is
has
flowing to the
awakened.
mask. If you're traveling with a child or someone who needs help, please secure your own mask first. After that, assist the other person. Keep your mask on until the crew member advises you to remove it. In the event of an emergency, please assume the bracing position. Lean forward with your hands on top of your head and your
I've been
elbows against your thighs.
Provided food.
Ensure
I'll
your
eat it
feet
once we
are
get
flat
up
on the floor.
off the ground first.
Life vests are located in a pouch under your seat between the armrests.
You guys are paying
Looks like
attention
you're
to the
driving
thing, right?
beside the road
Open
well.
the plastic pouch and
Oh,
remove the
no.
vest.
So you
Flip it
follow
over
these
your head
yellow
and bring the
taxi
straps
lines.
around your waist. Adjust
Okay,
the
we're
straps at the front.
gonna turn
Place
here.
the vest, pull firmly on the red cord when leaving the aircraft. If you need to refill the vest, blow into the mouthpiece. Also use the whistle and light to attract attention.
Is this
Your
Bravo?
seat bottom cushion can be used as a flotation device.
No,
Pull
this
the
is not
cushion
Bravo.
from the seat,
Hold on.
Slip your arms into the straps.
Thankfully,
and tuck
nobody
the
else is
cushion into
here.
the chest. Electronic devices like phones and laptop computers may be used only when the seatbelt sign is off and when permitted by the crew. Mobile phones must remain off throughout the flight. Remember that this is a non-smoking flight. Also, damaging the smoke detectors in the lavatories is prohibited by law. You will find all safety information in a card located in the seat pocket in front of you. It is recommended that you
Alright,
read
now
it
we're on the
before we
right
take off.
taxiway.
If you have any questions, please ask myself or another crew member. We hope you enjoy your flight.
There you go. There's your safety briefing. Yeah, so this little, I don't even know if you can see it because bitrate, but this little screw on the dash happens to line up pretty much perfectly with the center line of the aircraft. So you just put that right on the nose there, or right on the center line, and there you go. Now you should be pretty much, okay, we're
Which
actually a
button is
little
for
bit
the
left.
guns? XXGD-XG6.
I don't have that on this plane. Do you see?
When you're taking off, also watch the runway for psychos who stand there and face through the plane.
Yeah. That happens occasionally. Alright. Why is it giving me a warning? I guess low pressure or something? Hold on, let me look up here. What's going on up here? I don't know. Some hydraulic pump warning. I'm not worried about it. The packs are on, right? And bleeds are on. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Oops. Isolation valve. It should go away once we start rolling. Oh. Why is you barking in my mic? Step. Okay, we're taxiing a little fast. I got distracted. Why is Bluetooth not prohibited? Oh, because it doesn't interfere with the plane's navigation equipment. But a cell phone signal possibly could, you can actually take a cell phone and stick it up next to the compass in the airplane, and you can see it actually pull the needle to the left or the right. Like, I do it with my iPad all the time, just as a joke. Like, whenever I take people flying in the little planes. I'm like, hey, you want to see something cool? Zoop! And it just pulls it like, because the electric interference. So you can imagine if, you know, however many people we have on the plane right now all had their cell phones on, right? But nowadays they're better. Like, they're getting better about it. So I don't know. All right. I'm just gonna do a rolling start, so you can just landing lights on, strobe lights on. Just check this warning thing again. It's for the pressure on that stupid thing, but Las Vegas traffic, Air Shuttle 615 taking off runway 26 right. And be a northbound departure, Las Vegas. All right. And we can use this portion for takeoff because it is the displaced threshold. Alright. I'll apply a little bit of brakes to the right, get us lined up. Get some power in. About half. We'll go to about 75. And full power.
Airspeed's alive.
And checked.
80 knots.
Checked.
V1. Rotate.
Alright, gentle pull back on the stick. Lean a little bit into the wind, I guess.
Positive rate of climb.
Alright, tap the brakes, pull the gear up. Alright, and a little bit. That's it. Alright, we can pull flaps to 1. You can turn taxi and these off, turn these to landing on. We can pull flaps fully up. Las Vegas traffic, Air Shuttle 615, clear runway 26 right. Okay. Oh, I forgot to set the RTO, but it's fine. Maybe that's what the warning was. That would make more sense. Okay, and I like to climb at max angle of climb versus an economic climb.
Wonder why my compass isn't working. I sure hope some wolf didn't.
It's
play
only
with a cell phone
temporary.
pre-flight check loan the laugh.
It's only a temporary pull. Next time I'm in the plane, I'll take a video of it. All right. Have to check off checklist. So we got our gears up, flaps are up, autopilot is on, auto throttle is on.
I know loan the laugh, loan the laugh, loan the laugh. Nowadays, cell phones using different frequency to communicate.
Yeah.
You know the 5G. Bluetooth otherwise is also different using PAN personal area network, and the Bluetooth adapter's not strong enough to interfere with the plane's HUD. Sure never tried. Is this 100% true? But probably
I mean,
true
I
if
use
flight
it all the
airlines to use Bluetooth devices also not get blocked in airplane mode. Juice up smug.
Yeah, and I think like some of the American planes have like screens in the back of the seat, and those will let you do like that. My brain stopped working in the middle of talking. Okay. Don't give me that again.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can now use electronic devices.
All right, above 10,000.
As soon as we reach our cruising altitude, the flight attendants will be coming by with a drink cart. Now relax and have a
Set
great
this
flight.
auto.
Colon loan hug. It's okay.
Wow. He's attacking. Every time. I know the muffin.
I
Alright,
like you this way.
we're on our departure now. Alright. I don't know what the plane is doing. It's like leveling off. Unable 250 knots at hood. I don't care. I don't care. Is that because I'm too fast or something? Is there speed restrictions on this? Oh yeah, Gillian is max 230, but we were. I don't know. Oh, maybe it's for the... Oh, that's on the descent. Never mind, that's on the arrival. That's fine. I don't care. We're just gonna take a look outside real quick. Oh, they don't have the dome. The sphere? Isn't it over here by the airport somewhere? Like right here? That's the strip though, I guess. I think. Looking a little low poly. It's just glitching out a little, I don't know. Don't worry about it. It's still flying, it was just like leveling off weirdly for a second. I just look outside and I see it going like this for a second, then going back up. Yes, yes. No, we're not beginning descent.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can now use electronic devices. As soon as we reach our cruising altitude, the flight attendants will be coming by
So
with
good.
the cart. Now relax and have a great flight.
Jesus Christ.
It's still okay. We still flying. Yeah, I don't want to hear this.
What? Apparently the world's ending. We're just gonna keep simming anyway. Because, you know, sim is life. Yeah, you guys are just in the back. You don't hear any of this conversation. Like, what the heck is happening? You don't hear any of that. Don't worry about it. Alright, Jennifer. Also, we're above 18,000. We can standard the pressure. The smart car is still going? Okay.
Captain, I just got my food. I don't want to put my tray table up. ASUS 615 Classgate PDX all. Is this a WinRAR serial number?
Definitely,
Well.
yeah, definitely. No, it's Air Shuttle 615, Las Vegas to Portland. I think. And then I'm in American Airlines Virtual, so, you know, that's what that breakdown is. Oh yeah, don't worry about their first message. It showed up in my flight tracking too that okay, we actually might have a slight issue. Hold on, look at this. How do I... Look. So this is the flight tracking app that virtual airline uses. We're landing with extra fuel, even though it told me to put in the right amount, and we're landing ahead of schedule by like over 2 hours. Wait, fuel burn lower than planned? What does that mean? Oh, is that because I dived down, so I don't know if it freaked out? I don't know. I'm hoping we don't run out of fuel. We'll see.
Slight issue. Slight issue. We all gonna die. Oh wait, no. We won't, I guess. I hope. Oh God save us.
I mean, I have unlimited fuel on, and I can always just add some extra. I put in the fuel. I put in the empty fuel that it wanted me to. I don't know why it's being
Don't
spicy.
cheat.
I mean, I have to have it on in case, like, I get stuck on the ground or something, you know?
If we die, we die.
Let's see. Flight submarine. That's the one I want.
We die with pride. So don't cheat.
See, look. You guys should be able to see this little line, but you're not. I'm pretty far off the line, but that's fine. Okay, returning again. I mean, I can't do Mayday calls. It's FatSim. Let me check the... I mean, we seem to be okay. We seem to be right on target. I don't know. I'm gonna switch over to Unicom now. Let's see. Also, hold on, let me fix the overlay map. It's zoomed in too much.
Unicum.
Yeah, that's right.
Ask a dragon to piss into the fuel tank. If they can breath fire,
Alright.
it must be good for fuel, right?
There we go.
Right?
Let me zoom out. There we go. Oh, that's too much. How's that? Does that look okay? I can change it to light mode. Maybe. Maybe not. Alright, maybe not. Yeah, that would be perfect fuel, yes. That's exactly what we want. Alright, how do I get rid of this bridge shirt? There we go. Nice. Alright, and our arrival's gonna be... Oh, they need to repair it. You can see a little dollar sign. Oh yeah. Getting a little dance. Now...
Dino dance, 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 Dino dance.
Nice.
Cap.
Yeah, it reads everything, I think. Yeah. I got it for VR stuff.
Greater than less than greater than less than.
Except carrots, I guess. It won't read carrots. But you can always do...
Lone Baraf. Cat carrot.
I need to put the TTS to spit out a command. Or spit out text whenever that goes. That just like reads the carrot, 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 carrot. I'm sure Rhoda would appreciate it. What the heck? Why did it jump so much? Oh, just 19, please. Dang, look at that tailwind. Oh, it's not that much. It's only 28. Yeah, this, unfortunately, is the, like, boring part of the flights. It's like, okay, I guess we're just sitting here now. Yippee. It's like, what do I talk about?
greater than caret less than caret 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 greater than caret less than
Yep,
caret
it'll read that.
caret 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 greater than caret less than caret 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 caret.
Why is the
Wow.
zoom between these two so weird? Alright. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, fine. Oh, we're okay. We actually might be okay. It doesn't look like we're gonna be a cruise for that long. I don't. Man, I don't know. I don't know why it's being a pain. Alright. Let's set our...
Modern problems requires modern solution.
That's right. Okay, we're gonna do 30 knots of flaps. Because it's pretty rare, actually, I heard to use 40. So we'll just do 30 knots. We'll plug that in. We got our ILS of 110.5. I'm just gonna put it in both. Because I don't trust it. 50. Okay, and our approach course is gonna be 283. Might as well get all this stuff set up now. It looks like there is ATC online, like on VETSIM. When we get closer, I will know if they're still going to be online. If they are, it's going to be 135.45. Oh, and it looks like PDX Tower is actually on as well. So, what was that? 135.45? So let me just put that in here. Just so it's in here. 45. My mouse scrolling wheel is crying out for help. There we go. Okay. Just in case PDX Tower stays online, they've been online for 35 minutes. They could possibly be online by the time we get there. Tower, that frequency is going to be 123.775.
Kuro, Earth calls Kuraminator. Are you here?
Alright, we're almost at our cruise altitude. I think we might be okay on fuel. Right, so basically all the way up to cruise we burned like a little over like 2,000 pounds, and we have 8,000 pounds, 16,000 pounds remaining. We should be fine. I don't even know what PDX is. What airport is this?
Hey Captain, had to get up to stretch
Portland.
my legs.
It is Portland.
The movie you put on sucks. What does emergency use only pull down mean?
That means pull it. Pull it and get immediately put on a no-fly list.
Lol.
Oh, I need the 8's frequency too. 128.35. Okay.
Learn the laugh.
128.35. I don't like how she says laugh. 128.35. Alright. I'm just being honest. I don't like it. I don't like how she says it. Alright, we got traffic 1,400 above us to the right, but I'm not worried about it.
Clever. Win. Also, I wanted to apologize if I were too backseated.
Huh? Not waypoint, weather. Uh, 1,400 above. Huh? Are they a ghost? I don't see them over there. Oh, I know what it is. It's this A380. Here.
Nah, I don't mind. I'll stream up. Eventually Kinko 154 nervous.
Oh, actually, no, it's a Southwest plane. Whoop. Yeah, these are all the other planes that are online right now. It's this Southwest plane right here. This is an A380. And there's so many A380s on the map right now because it just got released. This one here, this one here. There's more A380s flying right now than actually have been made.
Okay. I accept, but still not like this.
Like, look at them all going to Hawaii and going to Australia. It's like, there's not even this many made. Hold on, I went the wrong way. Look, this is ridiculous. And then if you go to, like, Dubai. Look at all these A380s. Come on. And they're all flying here, too. It's like, you know, there's other planes, guys, right? Oh, no, you can see my name on the screen. Oh, no. Oh, oops. Whoopsie. Forgot about that. Oh, well, that's fine.
Unknown Lone got doxed.
Yeah. Alright. Oh, we're almost to Frank.
Meanwhile, when I first flew, I saw the clouds so close. It was so beautiful, like an infinite plain of snow. Even if I saw your
Nice.
name, I'd probably forget.
Yeah, at some point I knew Diamond's name, but I don't remember it. So, yeah, there's some clouds here. Sorry, the cockpit's a little dusty. Let's take a look outside. Yeah, see, we got some clouds almost at our level. But it does make sense. If you look at the overlay here on the map, you can see all this weather. That's why there's clouds there, right? So. Dang, we're going 0.8 Mach right now with 27 knot tailwind. Nice. We zoom in. Okay, so indicated airspeed is going to be 265. True airspeed 464 and ground speed 487. So you can see there's a difference here. It's because the higher up you go, the faster you go. It's just based off your ground speed. I would have to look further into why that actually is a thing. You're not road. Oh my god. Sorry. I actually wrote his name somewhere too. Like, he showed up as a recommended friend on Facebook. I was like, what? What? I didn't invite him, obviously, but it's just like,
Coffee for
That's
the
right.
sleepy doggo.
yeah, I need some. But not right now. We got planes to fly.
Lone the laugh.
Ooh, look, it's snowing. Or that could be a dry lake bed, actually. Never mind. I think it's a dry lake bed.
I never use Facebook, so that makes sense.
Nice. Yeah, I don't really either. My mom uses it, so it's the only reason I have it. But I don't really use any social media, actually. Other than Discord and Twitch, I guess, but I don't know if I would count Twitch as social media.
the biggest mystery here is Biggie. He's like a legend. I mean, he's a legend. But after all these years, I can't figure out anything about him.
Oh, we know
So
all there is
correct,
to know.
Steve.
We've seen the art they draw. We know all there is to know. I'm kidding. Alright, let me see. What's our like top of descent looking like? A while. A while. Okay.
I use Discord. I check Twitter, but I'm probably gonna abandon it at some point.
Yeah, I don't use Twitter really. I have one, but eh. Like, I just don't. I don't see a point to social
Exactly.
media right now. Like, it's like I don't.
Know your
I don't
friends,
network,
but know your
like-
enemies better. Today's friend can be the tomorrow's enemy.
Wiki's not anyone's enemy. What are you talking about? All right, now we got some wicked crosswinds. So the plane's gonna be crabbed a little bit. You can see my like true magnetic head is different than the track that we're following. You can see it's offset here a little bit. All right. I just realized you can't actually see the plane on the map. Because what the heck is going on with the overlay? Hold on. Oh, no, I am on there. I'm just like right in the middle of this. Hold on. There I is. Alright. Yeah, we got a ways to go still. I am actually concerned about my level of fuel.
How is your
Yeah.
co-pilot called? I see the slander about them taking the larger half of the bed alone the laugh. I like Biggie,
Yeah,
no
he's good.
joke, but you never know somebody truly. Smile, maybe
He's,
I'm an evil person.
he's
you
not
never
here
know
right
who.
now. So it's all me. It's all me. I am concerned about the amount of fuel. I swear I put the right amount in. Let me look at the sim brief. Let's see. Yacht fuel is 19,864. 19,864. Okay. So for, we should be fine. I put that in. We're at 15. I don't know what to trust now. Do I add in a little bit extra? Oh, actually, I still have some fuel in this tank. 0.01 pounds. Actually, this is in thousands of
maybe
pounds,
enough
right?
fuel
So,
for the corner store, but not enough for
what
this
is
trip.
that?
Thank God I bring my parachute cabin.
now we have none.
Oh yeah,
Okay, it's
did
gone
you
now.
end up going back and buy more muffins? Or did you just cut your losses?
No, they fell in the parking lot. I had a crying session. I'm just kidding. No, I was just like, I don't think Costco is gonna replace them. So I just told my dad if he's going to Costco to get me more. I was like, hey, are you going to Costco this weekend? He's like, I wasn't planning on it.
Daughter.
I was like, okay, well, if you go, can you get me muffins? Like, I
Poor
dropped
Doggo
them.
lost his muffins.
I mean, Kyle was being nice and he gave me one of his chocolate muffins, but I don't want the chocolate muffins. I want the pumpkin muffins. I want the pumpkin muffins. It's alright. I will eat this chocolate one, even though it's probably going to be the sweetest thing I've ever eaten, but it's fine.
The Muffin Man?
Yeah. I have seen him. He works at Costco. Oh. They're actually less sweet than I remember them being.
The Muffin Man
They're
did.
still pretty sweet. But they're a little better than they used to be.
Enjoy your meal.
Yeah, I gotta eat too. Not just you guys back there. Oh. Let's see. Oh, nice. Here
I
we got
used to
our...
like the poppy, but I usually go pumpkin. Choco is good, but a bit on the sweet side.
Yeah, the poppy's okay.
Give no clip.
I haven't had the pumpkin ones. That's why I got them, right? Okay, we got our first class seats, and then we got our cattle car section. No clip. That's right. I have magical powers that allow me to no clip. We got an hour left. See, if I were playing offline, I would just use this little magical button right here and increase the sim rate, but you can't do that.
Osirif Dorp Scramo MG alone is a magical dog or do.
Kind of. Can I go out? Oh, I can't go out the side. I wish I could have two camera angles, like show the one outside as well, like this one, without audio. I just don't know how to do that. Because that also happens to be the loudest thing in existence. But it would be cool for you guys to see the outside, like as I'm landing or whatever. I just don't know how to do that.
How can you fly? It's like hours of this just maintaining altitude.
Well,
long
I'm
enough.
not even doing anything right now. It's the autopilot. However, if the autopilot were to fail, I need to be able to, you know, fly the airplane. It's also a lot of like managing, like, or just monitoring. Like right now I'm just monitoring the autopilot, making sure everything's going well. I'm actually gonna put in our altitude here, 15,000. That way the plane will auto descend and I don't have to keep turning it. I could put it at what, 266, but then once we start that leg I have to adjust it again. So I might as well put it at 15,000 for now. We're probably gonna get vectored if the controller is still online. I'm just looking right now to see. It looks like they're still online so far. Also, we are gonna overtake this. Oh, he's at 380. Okay. There's another here. There's another air shuttle right ahead of me coming from Phoenix. So our ground speed's 240. Their ground speed's 420. Oh, haha, very funny. But we're probably gonna overtake them. And then we're going all the way here. I would like to get 28 right. Look at that, right next to the water, but they're probably gonna give me 28 left. Let's see. Simultaneous approaches in use, 28 left and 28 right. Okay. Whatever. I don't think I've ever been to this airport in the sim, so. It just looked like a short flight, you know? Yeah, so Seattle Center, been online for an hour and 18. We got an hour 14 to arrival. This plane's got an hour 7, but they're a little bit closer. So I don't know. But I bet we are going to overtake them. Anyway. I just keep looking back at that because I need to contact them before... Anyway, how can I fly? I don't know. It's fun. This part sucks. Well, I mean, it's okay. You get to see the stuff, but, like... The level part of cross country sucks. The takeoff and approach and landing, that's all fun. Because you're actually doing something. But yeah, this part kind of the it's not the worst part because you do get to see things, but it sucks. Like I don't know how else to say it. It's boring for me. I was thinking, what the heck are we gonna do when we do a transatlantic flight that's 6 hours? How am I gonna keep talking?
I'm joking about how? I think it would still be fun, even if boring. I understand the appeal.
Oh yeah, and not to mention, I'm zooming. I get to go really fast. So we're 439 right now. Let's see. That's 505 miles an hour. That part's fun too. Wait. Is that Scritches or is that... Oh, that's cool. It's like grime on the window serial. That's cool. I installed like a weathered texture pack for this plane. So now you got like little wear on the buttons, right? You got like little bits missing. You got like some smudge, like some fingerprints here. I don't even know if you can make those out, but there are fingerprints here. I can see. There's like, you know, this thing's got some scratches on it. It just doesn't look new. Like the exec button here is worn down, right? It's just things that make it look not like a brand new airplane, because otherwise every time I get in this plane it looks like it's brand freaking new. Like everything is flawless. That's just not realistic. So, oh, do you guys want to hear the fire warning? That might be the wrong side. Hold on. Nope. Yeah. Okay. It sounds like if there's a fire, which could happen. I mean, I have simulated failures on, so theoretically something could happen to this plane, and I would have to deal with it without a checklist because I have no idea what how it works. I know if I lose hydraulic pressure, if we go back here, let me go down here, and we open up this little panel. I can pull these little handles and the gear will drop down, but I don't know how to fly the plane without hydraulic pressure. I imagine it would still somewhat fly. It would just be really, like, sluggish. I guess you would have hydraulic pressure, right?
Do pilots get their mandated 15-minute breaks? Be like, sorry guys, I know the plane is crashing.
No,
but I
not
only
then.
need 15. Learn to laugh.
But yes, they do have breaks. Like, that's why they fly with two people, right, legally. One person will fly for like half an hour, then the other person will fly, or whatever, right? It just depends on the length of the flight. Sometimes if you're like really tired, I've heard like the captain will be like, I'll fly this leg, you fly the next leg, something like that. Probably just got a bunch of warnings there. Also, I just realized the screw. The screw is actually the screw on the windshield wiper. I don't know why that kept lighting up. That was weird. Oh, what am I doing? I gotta load up the approach minimums. Shit. Right. No. Load the chart. Okay, so we can either turn the knob to 306, which actually that's not that bad, or we can turn the radar altimeter knob. So this is the barometric pressure, this is the radar minimums. 283. I think I'll just go to 306. So you can either set it to barometric or minimum. So what? 306.
You know, from the good old days. Shut up and drive EOEO.
Huh? I don't know that one. I mean, I could be quiet if you want. Alright, I'll be quiet for the next
Well,
40 minutes, give or take.
no, just kidding.
Yeah, I know, I'm not gonna do that. Oh, I was talking about the brakes, right. So also, if you're flying on a flight longer than 8 hours, you're required to have 3 pilots.
Back
So
in
you
the
would have
days,
your
we
2
said
here.
This to Rotorua.
You would have your 2 there, right? And then on some planes, like the big ones, there's like a secret door here on the side, and you open it up and there's stairs up to a little like sleeping area up here. Obviously not on this one, it's a small plane, but these don't go on
Being
that
quiet.
long.
Not
so.
I have enough of quiet teams when I stream on here.
Nah, your stream's not that quiet. I find it hard to just talk about just
Edkuro, you can, how dare you?
like stream of consciousness stuff. I
Frown.
can't do that. I don't know how Clappy
frown,
does it.
frown, frown, frown.
Why is we frowning? So what is this approach angle on this chart? It's like, okay, you're gonna be here, and then, you know, like, that's not a... Maybe it's right, I don't know.
It's definitely a skill to talk all the time. Clappy is built different.
Yeah.
Learn to laugh.
Alright, let me check my... You have got to be kidding me. I accidentally closed the smart cars.
Clappy is a chatterbox love.
I accidentally closed smart cars, so this flight doesn't count. You are joking, right? Please tell me it's still somehow tracking me.
Why? I tried to keep you talking, Kuro.
Oh no, I can't. It doesn't count. Alright, well, this is why I have this backup right here, okay? This is why I have this backup.
Oh no, that's a disaster.
I have the backup because it's tracking everything. So I can, I
Hey,
believe,
I appreciate it.
export this somehow. Okay, yeah, I think I can like click
Kuro.
complete flight and then, yeah, okay. What the... No! How did I forget that? Oh, I like how Las Vegas now has control. They now have ATC. Look at this. Look at this BS. Now they have ATC down
Learn,
here.
don't dox yourself. 3.
Huh? No, I'm fine. But, okay, so this is why you have that backup, because then I can go into this and I can do, I think I can manually pirate this. Oh, wait. No, this is Alaska Airlines. Shit! I have an Alaska Airlines livery. Damn it! I could've... Alright. I thought it was Air Shuttle. It's Alaska. I guess they work with...
621 Oval Avenue.
Yeah. That's right. Okay, I have heard of Simbrief just doing bullshit before, so... I'll just have to manually pirate that. Thank you, Windows Defender. I really appreciate that. Fuck. Alright.
And his real name is Jimbo Rambo Jeremiah Valentine Cabin.
Why are you attacking? Why is he always attacking me?
Attack.
Yes, he's attacking me. 8,000 kisses attack. It's super effective.
Who? Where?
What's up? Kawa? Whatever you want to call him. The Muffin Murderer. There you go, there's your view.
Copy.
Ah, the first class view. See, I would like to have this as like a secondary screen so I could have it like in the corner down. Like in the corner down here, but like this. You know. But no, I don't know how to split it like that. So.
Mods.
Mods, yeah, mods. I'm hoping the new sim that comes out has that feature. So. Scoot. Oh shit. I accidentally hit the air brakes for a second.
Hey, Kawaii Floof.
North says hey. North.
Hi, caller. I am your legal representative. The Muffin case with manslaughter at worst.
Drop them.
I did not. You handed them to me bad. Clearly, it's your fault.
You can't hold things.
Lunka laugh, lunka laugh, lunka laugh, lunka laugh, lunka laugh.
Why is it so loud? So. How we doing on time here? What do we got?
Goodbye.
Goodbye. He has left. Freedom once again. Oh god. Why did I stole the fox off the bike!
Ejection every 5
No!
minutes. Sometimes I spit out a take that too.
No! Don't throw it. I have a fox that
Farewell,
sits on my
fox.
mic stand. A little fleshy fox. He stole it.
Bye bye, Kawaii Floof.
He's going to play Xbox or something. Probably playing, what is the fucking game he plays? Apex? Or Siege? One of those games he tried to get me to play and I was like, how do I look up? I'm not good at first-person shooters. I can't do it.
Lone, you should buy a game for him instead to play free junk Kappa.
Like what? Also, I found this website.
Have you tried using your neck to look up? I'm not great at FPS either.
I have tried using my neck, yes. Yeah, I thought we were air shuttle, but I guess Alaska. Alright, what's the call sign actually? Alaska. It's just Alaska. Okay. So we're now Alaska 615, not Air Shuttle 615. That's why I put ASH. But, yeah.
I know, maybe Minecraft? I heard it's very popular.
He does play Minecraft too. Nope, PDX is still online. I wonder if anybody's gonna fly an A380 in.
Man,
I hope
only
not.
Visual novels. The way you click the screen to continue the dialogue takes crazy skill. Nice. Yeah, high skill level there. Okay, what freaking website was this? I found this website that had like little mini games in it. So you could like, hold on, I gotta look at that. I think I have a screenshot of it. Screenshots. Edgar, you can even with Hooves Kappa.
I found it. It's Emu OS. Emu OS. Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. So I'm thinking on the
Emu OS. Now we have Kuro emulator.
Yep. I'm thinking on the long streams we can pull this up and let me make it a little smaller. We can play loads of games on here, right? Like there's tons of stuff. There's Minecraft on here. Where is it? Here it is. Like old Minecraft, and it runs in the Anyway, there's tons of stuff on here. I figured we could play around on this while I'm like, you know, waiting for time
Where's
to pass.
The Sims? D.
The Sims. I thought it had The Sims. I thought it had it. Dang it, I thought it had The Sims in here. Am I just blind? Am I not seeing it? I don't know. I guess it's not here. Half-Life 1? Oh my god. Oh, we could watch Happy Tree Friends. this? Wait. Why is controls not working? Oh, I think I've worked it. Hold on. Oh yeah, here we go.
Is Happy Tree Friends safe for Switch?
I don't know. Also, holy crap, this game is loud. And apparently, oh god, apparently
Play
turning
later.
that stuff.
I playing 2/ not currently / but after 20 plus years I playing Chalk again. Damn, it's an experience.
Tomb Raider? Which Tomb Raider? Is it on here? Like the old one?
I love this pinball. Listen to that track.
I know it's great, but I'm going deaf. God, they have Clippy. Why is Bonzi Buddy here?
Bottom row.
Bottom row. Okay, hold on. What is this? What the heck is this?
Get freaky on Friday, not yet.
What is this? Well, it's not loading, whatever it is. Okay, so it's in the bottom row. Huh? Oh, right here. Okay.
Come to my home. I'll take you on a guided tour.
Yeah, okay. How do I move you? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Hold on.
Arrow keys.
Arrow keys.
Welcome to my home.
Okay.
I'll take you on a guided tour.
It
Use
works.
the D-pad to go into the music room.
But the D-pad, right. It works if I don't full screen. That's weird. Is it just arrow keys? How do I jump?
Okay, let's do some tumbling. Press the jump button.
Is it... Let's jump. Is not space enter? This is what the pilot's doing. Yeah. He's running around.
For your interest, the Space Cadet pinball not in Windows 98.
Oh,
It
I
first
know.
debuted in
Like,
Winnie/2K
neither was Cut the
Cloud.
Rope 2. Like, it just put the stuff in here. Bonzi Buddy? Fuck off. How do I get rid of you? I want Clippy. No, that's F1. I don't want F1. I want Clippy. No, that's the genie guy. I don't want that. No, I want Clippy.
Flappy Juice
No.
Sip Smug.
That's the cat. Fuck's sake. Alright, we got Einstein. Give me Clippy. I just got another Bonzi Buddy. Fuck this.
Why the bones he hates. He isn't malware anymore, Lone the Laugh.
I know, I just don't. Can I, like, close this one? How do I...
Never trust a purple gorilla.
Dang, there's a bunch of stuff on here. Mostly mobile games, honestly. But,
damn it at Winamp. Hashtag I'm still using it.
Oh shit. What the heck is this? I've never actually got this far. How do you get the coin? Oh well. Okay. Anyway. Sorry. Oh, see, they went offline, like, right before we got there. Man, every time. Alright, hopefully the tower stays online. Man. Well, I guess we'll open it back up now that I actually don't have to talk to anyone. Fuck's sake. Nice. What is Winamp? I don't know. I don't actually know what that does. Quake? I've heard of Quake. What is Quake? It's a shooter, right? What? Oh wait, what? Why is control?
I forgot loan is a different generation D.
Why is control a frickin' shoot, not crouch? Get blasted. Is this a? This looks very very Half-Life. This looks very Half-Life. Oh, apparently you can also jump with right click. That's weird. Do I only have the two weapons? Oh my god. I'm getting blasted. Can you imagine this is what the pilots are doing instead of, you know...
Also, need to use the restroom now.
Okay. You must press the 3 buttons. Yeah, I did it. Dang, this game is old as heck. I did it. I could. There's 6 secrets? What? only 2 weapons. I suppose I can't be picky. Oh god, he... Ow! Oh, double barrel. Okay. Oh my god. I'm dead. Wait, what the heck just happened to my... What happened? Where did it go? I don't know I don't know why. Whatever. I'm pretty sure we're almost at our TOD anyway, right? No. We're still about 160 miles. What am I gonna do? I thought this flight was gonna be short. That's why I, like... Yeah, I'll take that flight. Oh well. It's fine. Hopefully I didn't, like, click on anything, like, end stream. Okay, no, I didn't. Good. Well, hopefully you guys are doing well. You got your water, you gotten up, stretched.
What's our velocity?
It does say at the top of the stream there, 468 knots. That's true airspeed. Ground speed's 408. That's
I'm
because
back. On my way
we
back,
have...
I found some tomato.
Nice. I do like tomato with a little bit of salt. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, anyway, we have a 63 knot headwind. So, right, our indicated is always going to be lower, especially at higher altitudes. It's always going to be lower than the ground speed, but you can tell that our true airspeed is different than the ground speed because of the 63 knot headwind, which is insane. That is a crazy headwind. Also, okay, there you go. Can you see now? These numbers right here. You know what? Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna find out why ground speed increases with
Came
altitude.
154 excite.
Give me a second. Ground speed, because of the, because of the decrease in air density. Right. That is why, yes. Okay. So as you go up in altitude, the air density decreases. It's not the amount of oxygen in the air that's lowering, like, you know, when you go up, like you see people going up Everest with oxygen tanks. It's not because there's less oxygen. It is because there is less pressure pushing that oxygen into your lungs, right? So that's why, like, rapid depressurization, even at 36,000 feet, would be deadly. So you have like 3 seconds to put these masks on. The pilot ones are continuous flow, and the ones that drop down from the overhead, those are like a chemical reaction. Give me a second. I can tell you. I have a document on it. I have a document exactly explaining this. I just have to find it. Import it. Here we go. Okay, we got oxygen equipment. Yes. Okay, so let me turn this on.
Fuck you passengers, you don't need continuous flow.
Why is it not showing the left screen? Oh. Okay. Why is the right screen showing?
At Kuroyukin all you get is chemical reactions low.
I don't even see this on my screen right now. I think I moved the display like way off in OBS land, and now it's gone forever. So we'll just check this one, right? So oxygen requirements, okay. So yeah, you can't use the normal oxygen, right? So, oh, actually, I guess they use diluter demand. What? No, they use continuous flow. Oh, no. Okay, no, I'm sorry. They do use diluter demand. So it only, when they're inhale, it will provide oxygen instead of continuous flow, which is where it constantly pumps the oxygen in, right? And then pressure demand, that's for, like, fighter jets. And the pilots use these quick down masks, and then everybody else gets these pieces of shit. It has a little chemical reaction that flows in. Actually, I'm sorry, you get the Dixie Cup ones. I thought it talked about like the type of chemical, but I guess not. I guess they're... Yeah, phase dilution. Yeah. Yeah, one-way valve. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's how they work, right? You get the little bag that gets strapped to your face. So... Yeah, you don't need continuous flow. Fuck you. What was it? I was gonna say something about oxygen, but my brain is just forward, so I guess you don't get it. Oh, right. So if there was a rapid depressurization, they would do an emergency descent and basically just dive towards the ground to get, down. So, that's what they do. That's how it works. Airplane.
Do you have a special mask to accommodate the wolf snoot?
Yep, definitely a special mask in here, yes. You just can't see it. Here you can... Yeah. I'll just waste all the oxygen on the test.
At Kuroyukin it called for a suit kappa. Loan the laugh.
Ooh, I have visors? Ooh. No, give those back. Can I move it? Oh, dang, look at that. Ooh. Yonk. Yonk. I guess to, like, shade the sun? Nobody needs that. I don't know what this thing is on the window. Looks like some kind of emergency release. We got lights, which I don't use. This is the heads-up display. And then that's what actually projects the heads-up display, so you can see if I move around the heads-up display. It's not simulated, like, perfectly, but... it works. It's just a piece of glass, right? That gets
It all scratched up. And that thing is a bath bomb for the phone parties.
Yeah. How we doing on fuel? We'll be fine. We'll be just fine. Alright, got our pressurization. Everything's good there. the temperature outside? Minus 19C outside. Dang, that's cold. Oh. I forgot to change this to the... There we go. Don't worry about it. I've only ever had one failure in Flight Sim. And that was like a pressure failure, and that's how I discovered that the landing gear can be
FCK
released.
was that? D?
What? What, this?
Look at all that
my
foam
guitar.
outside. Can I get off the plane and jump in the giant bath?
Yeah, go ahead. It'll stop
That
you for
weird
sure.
noise.
It was either me yawning or it was my guitar.
Yawn.
That's my yawn noise.
Okay.
Don't laugh. It's my yawn noise.
Yawn dare noises.
I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I slept for like 11 hours. I'm gonna get up and stretch up. Oh, legs. Is that how legs work? I forgot.
Why would I laugh? It's a yawn. Color would probably call it puke though.
He would
Not
be
much
banned.
oxygen in the room.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is, yeah. How we doing? How we doing on fuelants? Look, we haven't even used as much as we have left, so... And we're most of the way there. Mostly. Let me just check the radar again.
We are in 36K high in the air. OFC, there's not much oxygen here.
Of course not. Oh, dang, somebody's in a F-22? Ooh, fancy. Fancy. I really don't know if this tower controller is going to stay online. Like, they've got 3 planes coming in.
Suck some air from those masks to stop future yawns cabin.
Okay, yeah, got it. Will do. Oh, we're getting a little turbulence. A little bit of turbulence. Alright, the turbulence stopped. Hey, we had a little bit there for a second. Oh, no, we can see it moving. We got a little bit. Let's look outside. That's just normal rise and fall of the plane.
Yes, I know, I'm not funny.
A little bit. You can see it in the wing flex, but it's not too bad. It's probably because the frickin' wind is 67 knots. Shall we look at that? Let's look at that. It gives me something to do. Let's look at the weather, shall we? Let's see. Let's look at the old prod chart. Let's see. Prod charts. So we are like somewhere.
67 nuts? That's a lot of nuts.
Or somewhere like
Dennis
around
would be
here.
happy.
We're somewhere around here. So we got some troughs, some area low pressure. Actually, sorry, we're somewhere here, like in all this nonsense, because PDX is here, right? We're still a little bit south of that. Oh yeah, we're pretty much level at this, so we're going into this area of low pressure here. Let's look at the winds. Winds. There we go. Oh, look at that. Look at those winds coming in off the jet stream. Dang. Now those are some winds. Alright. That is max, of course, so if we go to our altitude, yeah, it's pretty much the same, like 131 knots. As we get closer, it's gonna get stronger. Wow. Yeah, so we're like in this region right now, right? Or maybe this one. Yeah, we're like in the 64 still. It'll jump up to 90 and then 100. Oh my. We're gonna get rocked. We're gonna get rocked. Alright. Jeez. Alright, let's see. Check like 18,000. Okay, it's a little bit less down. Okay, how about like the surface? Where's PDX? Where the heck is PDX? Oh, here. Two 230 at 8. That's not bad. But yeah, it's definitely windy up here. Jeez. Let's check the turbulence chart. Oh yeah, see? High turbulence, moderate turbulence at high altitude. So between 18 and 42,000. Getting some extreme turbulence. Or I guess moderate. Moderate's pretty good. I mean, extreme is not good, right? Like this, don't want but this one's 28,000 to 40,000, so yeah. Dang. Got some turbulence down at the. Let's check the surface. Okay, not too much, a little bit, right? And then as we approach, it will just decrease in intensity. This is us. Or this one. Not this one. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Just thought we would check out the weather. Knots, not nuts. Not even gonna say it. It's gonna say. It's November now. No nuts are allowed. Keep your almonds away from me. Okay, I honestly thought this was going to be an hour and a half long flight. But I guess because of the wind, that's not gonna happen. Right, we're fighting this headwind. So it's gonna take a while. We are, well, we're 25 minutes. It's just, we gotta fight it, you know, all the way. We're almost to our top of descent. We're about 80 miles out. Well,
Not like I running anywhere.
I mean, I know. I just trying to keep people entertained in the long periods of nothing. So when you're flying, like we are right now, we're flying west to east. The flights are longer because you have headwind. When you're flying east to west, the flights are shorter because, right, tailwind plus rotation of the globe. Earth. Alright, what the heck is... What the heck is Clappy streaming today? I'm very interested. When he posted like what he was doing, he was like, oh, it's like glitch text.
I'm a simple bore. I don't understand what are we talking about here, lol.
He posted like his stream schedule for this week, and it had like glitch text on today. I'm like curious as to what was happening. I guess we'll find out. We'll raid Clappy after we get to this airport, because it will be probably 3 hours. Come on. I really want to increase the sim rate, but I can't because I'm online. So we're just stuck. Slowly inching along.
So, Loon, how was your day?
Oh, well, I got up. I vacuumed the house. I mopped the floor. And then I planned out a flight. And started streaming. So pretty good. And then as soon as I'm done, well, minus probably like 15-20 minutes to chill with Clappy, I'm gonna go to the climbing gym.
I mean, I don't know what is the time in America or in?
It's like 1:30. I think it's like, yeah, it's 1:35. And then on Sunday, the rest of the U.S. switches because of daylight savings. But we don't. Arizona doesn't change, so I will stay the same time. But I move an hour east. I move an hour east. So right now I'm on Pacific time, but I will change to Mountain time. And then everybody else change. Technically, I mean, I don't change my clocks. Well, I do have to change my clocks because my phone thinks, like, hey, we changed time zone. No, we didn't. We're in Arizona time. We don't do daylight savings here. Every time I set that, it still changes. I remember when I was working at Microsoft, man, I was working on daylight savings switch day, and they made me work an extra hour. I was like, oh, the time just changed, so
Damn, you're lucky.
I've been here
Imagine
for
when I
4
work night
hours.
shift and I worked 13 hours instead of 12 is like hell.
Yeah. I know, it's like, I've been here for 4 hours. I'm going on lunch. He's like, no, you have an hour until your lunch. I was like, I know I don't. I don't care that the time changed. Like, I don't care. Alright, we're less than 80 miles to top of descent. That's when I start doing stuff. And by doing stuff, I mean I make sure that it's descending at our correct, like, vertical descent angle or vertical descent path or whatever it's called. You get this little pink diamond that will move down, And then we just want this line to be on that diamond, right? Also, this, in case you're wondering, is your angle of attack indicator. Once this bar exceeds this red line, that means you've exceeded your angle of attack. And then that's a bad thing. That's the way you don't want. We almost there. We'll have a nice landing. I'm gonna zoom the little map in a little bit. Since took it, streaming, map. Zoom the map in a little bit.
Dan, learning all of this is really something. I'm proud I know a person like you had Pat Tax.
Well, I can't say it was easy because it's not been easy, but thank you. Alright, 123,775. I'm just gonna put this in here. 123. 775. Yeah, I mean, a fair bit of studying happened. Oh, actually, I have to get the weather first. 128,350. Hold on. Maybe just. Oh, it does work. Why did I go this way on the spinner? Not the other way? Alright, I don't know how to turn the ATC voice off. Like that? That might work. I just don't want to hear the ATC weather. As soon as we get close enough, we'll hear it.
ATC voice?
Yeah, so I tuned in the weather frequency for Portland. So when we get closer, we'll hear it. But we would hear it twice. Once put in through VetSim and then once put in through the AI in-game ATC that sucks. It's terrible. But this one, it's just awful. So I don't use it. Like, I'll be flying an approach and it's just like, nope. Alright, I got 128,350 on receiving. We'll hear it whenever we hear it. I don't know when that's gonna be. We gotta get closer for sure. Probably about 35 miles or so. Oh, and we are gonna tell the tower when we get up there that we are inbound ILS 28 left. That's once we turn final, or once we start the approach. Alright, let me pull up the arrival chart. Guess we're not... Oh no, okay, we have to fly to Jatba. We have to fly to Jatba first. And then we will appear on this map, although I believe this is not to scale. Yeah, that's why it's dashed. It's not to scale, so... let's just check our things here. So above flight level 240, above 17,280 knots, 270 knots at 13,000, 250 knots between 15 and 9,000, above 7,100, 210 knots at 6,700, 210 knots, 210 knots at 6,700. That's fine. Okay, and then we'll have our perch. Perch is going to be hipster at 3,700. Well, it'll be 5,700, then down to 3,700. Then hipster 3,700. Hannah 2,900 will be Adam, which will be the start of the final approach course, or the glide slope. I'll call here at hipster though. Please stop. Or actually, I might call it Schaefer if they see me. They might see me by then. Yeah. Okay, what was it? Oh, okay. I got Adam. Then Yinup. Then I guess whatever this is, which is gonna be our Mr. Perch point. Mr. Perch is going to be climb to 2,100, then a climbing left turn to 4,000. Head to the UDG VOR via 360 radial. We'll go to the VOR and then hold. All right. Autopilot coupled approach below 880 feet. Simultaneous approaches are authorized. The glide slope and ILS are not coincident. That's fine. One approach course 283, 2000. 195, I got this, I got this. Cool. Oh, and we have,
I wonder this tuber thingy only had 2 phases, talk and not talk?
This one does, yes. Hold on. This one has more. This one has blinking. And blinking with my mouth closed too, if I can keep talking. There you go, long enough. And this one is just open and closed as well. Surrey made these, and I had somebody else make that one. What? Can you... Stop. Stop. Foxo! Stop attacking! I gotta do stuff.
I mean the app capable to simulate mouth movement too if I have the arts too?
No, don't put stuff on my keyboard. I will eat it in a minute. I'm almost done. No, it just reacts to mic input. But the I do have one that reacts to webcam, but then I have to have the webcam set up, which I'm not doing right now. I'm gonna laugh if this guy goes offline. Like, we've come all this way. This is how it works with VATSIM though. It's like every time you get close, it's like, nope, nope, I'll fly now. It's kind of annoying. But it is what it is. Yeah, I have another one. I also want to
I mean
Get
not
a
react
different-
to webcam. I mean when I talk it randomly changes the mouth movement phases.
oh, I'm not sure, because it's just two PNGs. So I don't know how else it could transition. It also can do this, so, like, it can jump around like this when I talk, or no movement, or just a little bit, or a little bit of shaking, or more shaking. Or this one, which is like little bounce, and this one's like crazy bounce. But I like this one. And also, you can have it when I'm not talking, do something like this. But it's a little bit too much, right? I guess this one's okay. I don't know about the jump there. I don't know if it's too much movement. And the shaking is too much. Ah! This one's okay. I guess we could try this one for now. Just as long as you don't see like the bottom of the PNG. Alright, top of descent. I'm just gonna do a call because I'm on Unicom. Hood 5, alright. Portland area traffic. Alaska 615 is on the Hood 5, Birch and Portland. Alright, that's all I'm gonna do. That's good enough. Alright. So we got our descent. You can see this little triangle has come in, or this little diamond, right? So that'll go up right there, and then it'll be good there.
Interesting. Thinking about to stream again next year. I'm thinking about this kind of stuff.
Nice, yeah. I do have another program that uses my like actual 3D avatar, but it's kind of a pain to use because right, you need the webcam, and then if it's nighttime, you need like a light to get the webcam enough light. It is correcting. We're a little bit below our descent path. It's fine. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I just got the notification. It's right. Yeah, we'll go raid Clappy when we're done here. Let's see. What is he doing? It just says the door is open. With just a timer. Amazing. What is he? Alright, it's probably like Yakuza or something. I mean, it'd be like a Clappy game, right? It would have to be. It'd be something Clappy would play, right? So. I'm gonna laugh so hard if this guy shuts down before we get there.
A painting Yakuza game where you need to be a lawyer.
Like yesterday,
Wow.
yeah. Alright, just for the sake of getting some announcements in here, I'm gonna open up AirTool, which hopefully doesn't crash me or lag me. Open up the announcements. Why is the...
You losing height?
Yep, we are descending 3,000 feet per minute there. 2,500 technically, but... so we can just...
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, sorry.
we are now descending and preparing to land.
Stop. Shut up. That's not the right one. I need American. I guess... Alaska, if I haven't, Alaska.
Damn, I noticed it. 3.
Nice.
To prepare for landing,
There you go.
please close your tray table and put away carry-on items. Place your seat in the original upright position. We will now collect any items you wish to discard. Please put away larger electronic devices, including laptop computers,
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
or smaller handheld devices in your hand or seat pocket.
I know
Devices
it's
must
not
remain
much,
in
but
airplane
let me
mode
happy
until
for
after we
myself,
land.
Steve.
Nice.
We will be landing soon.
Alright, we have information Yankee. Wind is 200 at 9. Altimeter 2988. Okay. 2988. Let's get that dialed in here. So... right there. What else did I say? Oh, 220, whatever, I don't care. Okay, let's just refresh the approach speed. Do 30 knots, 30 notches of flaps, not 30 knots of flaps. Alright, once we're below 18,000 here, I'll flip the landing lights onto strobe, and we can push this standard button. And also, once we get closer, I will load up the approach. Also looking at this to see if it pops up a message here that says drag required. If that's the case, we'll just lower the speed brakes like this, just to give me a little bit of drag. We can put them out as far as this flight detent. It's behind my head. Sorry. There you go. Okay, 1,000 feet to go. I'm also going to flip the HUD down, recenter my camera, just fix it here a little bit. There we go. Got to keep an eye on all the instruments right now. So I'm doing like a scan, right? I'm looking at this, looking at this, looking at this, looking at these, looking back at this, looking at this, right? Looking at these, making sure everything's lined up. Okay, we're below 18,000. We can hit that. Flip the landing lights onto strobe. And we can turn the logo lights on there. It's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Turn that on. Turn that on. Check for errors. There are no errors. We're good there. Alright, we can pull up the legs. Almost there. So... why? There we go. I don't know why it did that weird thing there. That's fine, okay. Alright, 15,000. Still good, still coming down. Let me just check. I'm just checking the other, You gotta be kidding me, he went offline. Look at this. He went offline. Oh, really? Really? I'm so close. I'm right here. Come on. Dude. Fuck.
What? Wait, why you give Andres D? What is happening here?
Oh, what? Veto tube, please. Thank you. I gotta look professional here. You gotta be kidding me. I can't believe he went offline.
LOL.
What the fuck? Alright.
Captain Stripper learns you sap smug.
Turn off the receive for the weather then. Alright, we're at 12,000. At 10,000, the plane will kind of level out, and it'll give us like a slowdown, right? Looking at this too, we definitely are way above these published speeds. We're supposed to be 270 right now. So what it'll do to correct for that is kind of slow the descent down. Yeah, we're supposed to be 290 here and 270 here. Way to go, autopilot. You did so good. Big new. That's right. Alright, actually, I'm going to slow it to 250 because we need to anyway. We're going to add some drag in to help me slow down. I guess we could do 270. Like, it should decel me just before it, right? Big new mode. Everything's looking good so far. Good on fuel, we're good on everything right now, so. Turn on the terrain warning just because I can't see. Oh yeah, that's right. One way or another, we are making it down there. But most likely we'll be fine. Because I trust the instruments, even though we're flying in the soup. Dang, I couldn't have planned that better. Alright, pull up the eyelash chart. Get rid of this freaking thing. I don't need that. Why am I so tall?
Flappy plays Kingdom Hearts.
Dang. Oh, that makes sense actually with the keys and the doors, yeah. Where did my approach chart go? Shit. Give me that. Alright, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This will be 12 miles. 12 plus 5 is 17. Plus another 7. $24. Alright, we'll do a call from Schaefer, which is 25 miles to the west. Inbound ILS, or we're going to be doing ILS 28 left. Good thing I trust my instruments, because, wow, those mountains are close. I'm landing in like 5 minutes. Relax. Nacho, stop. I'm landing in like... I will eat the muffin. Let me land the airplane. No, it's not muffin time. Definitely not muffin time right now. Alright, let's switch over. Actually, what was the freaking power frequency? 123775? I think so. Oh, it's already in. Okay. I don't see any other planes on our traffic alert either. Alright, once we get to Schaefer, I'll make a call.
Colin, make some coffee next to that muffin smile.
No time for coffee. No time for coffee right now. Get off my chair, please. So, you can watch it on the...
What are you talking about? There's always time for coffee. See.
Not right now, there's not. That's UTC time. Stop! Stop attacking me. Okay, no, you need to go. I can't do this and that. Oh, apparently PDX ground is on now. What? What the heck is happening? Whatever. Portland traffic, Alaska 615 is going to be about 25 miles to the west. I'm going to be doing ILS 28 left of bridge. Stop. I'm like, it's driving me fucking crazy. Alright, 121.9. Alright. Back into the soup again. Alright, we'll flip landing lights on.
Stop. Coffee time / instead of hammer smile.
No, just more. Stop leaning in front of my screen. He's like over here leaning in front of my screen so I can't see.
Sounds romantic.
Oh, yeah. Alright, let me just check the radar and make sure nobody else is on freaking final. We got some other moron coming into Portland, but he's not even on the approach yet. So hopefully, they're not even all on the right frequency. Jesus Christ.
Like a kitten which looking for attention.
Yeah.
Yes, good man.
Why is my traffic not working? There should be a plane, like, on final here. That is a very accurate description of him. Alright, we'll arm the approach. Nice. Portland traffic, Alaska 615, inbound ILS 28, left approach. Portland. Alright, cool. Now, we are gonna disarm the auto throttle. I'll just do it myself. Drop in 3 notches of flaps real quick. I think our approach speed was somewhere around 140. 146. Yeah. Drop in another notch of flaps. We can put the gear down. Portland traffic, Alaska 615 is about 10 mile final, runway 2 left. You know, it would be just my luck if this thing was set to the wrong audio. I don't even have an output device selected. Oh my god. I'm dumb. I'm so dumb. Well.
I like the keen change between the normal Roan and the professional Roan smile.
Alright, we'll do 30 notch flaps. Throttle back. Alright. Quickly, while it's doing that, we'll pull up the taxi diagram. Alright, lights are on, gears down, 3 green, no red, flaps are down, no errors. 3 green, no red, 3 green, no red. Okay. We're right on the glide slope. That's going to be these 2 little diamonds here. This is going to be our LNAV and our VNAV, right? Lateral and vertical guidance. As soon as we hit minimums, we will pull the
1,000.
Autopilot up. Also, now's your time to predict the landing rate. So if you do exclamation mark predict and then a negative number, it will give me, it'll put a prediction in. I'm guessing somewhere around 200,
Plus 100.
maybe 300. Anything greater than 500, I can't file.
At North Greenfield, thanks for your guess. 1 entry.
Alright, minimum disconnect. Apply it by hand now. 9. I wish I could land it at 9.
100. Sync
Alright, reset the camera.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Keep that flare, keep the nose off. Oh, flared a little too long.
Landing recorded at 0 FPM, 128 KTS.
Dang, 0?
1.0 G.
There's no way.
Greenfield winds guessing 9 FPM. GGWP.
There's no way it was 0. That's gotta be a glitch. Unless it literally was 0, but I don't know.
Congratulations.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a second. Alright, flaps up. Everything else is up. Let's get off the runway here. Alright, am I clear?
Clap, 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 clap.
Okay, I am clear. We will switch over to ground.
Just have a miscommunication with me, I apologize. But we're going to TTAF now for that, so 1172.
Alaska 1172, no problem. Have a good day.
Oh great, some child. Okay, here we are. What taxiway are we on? Echo. And Portland Ground, Alaska 615, clear runway 28 left at Echo, taxi to the terminal. We can take any gate.
That was IRL voice.
Yep, that's a real person.
Alaska 615, taxi to the terminal via Echo Bravo Tango Mike.
And taxi to terminal via Echo Bravo Tango Mike, Alaska 615. Thanks. So Echo, we got Bravo Tango. What the fuck?
Damn, that's cool.
What the fuck kind of instructions did they just give me? What? Hold on. I gotta... Uh-huh. Yeah. What the heck? Echo, Bravo, this is Tango, Mike is here. I don't understand why he didn't just give me... Alright, whatever, we'll... try and follow, I guess, as best we can. Alright, landing lights can come off. Strobe lights can come off. I can go to solid. And we can start the EQ.
Easy kid probably don't know what he's doing well.
I mean, I just don't understand why... Echo, Bravo, Tango is any of these, but then Mike, where's Mike? Mike's way over here. And it doesn't help that I can't see the taxi signs.
Alaska 615, collection taxi to the terminal via Bravo 4 Tango Mike.
And Bravo 4 Tango Mike, Alaska 615. Alright, hold on, let me figure that out. So Bravo 4 Tango Mike. I guess he wants me to go like this or something. Yeah, Tango Mike. Okay, yeah, he wants me to go. Okay, I see. Okay. I got it. We got it. We figured it out. This is Bravo 4 right here. Yoink. Then we got Tango. What? Why would you not just tell me just taxi via Echo Bravo to terminal? Like, why are you sending me all the way around? It's fine. It's fine. Either that or I'm just really bad at reading a taxi diagram, but... And the Jeppesen chart for this airport is garbage. I mean, he can yell at me if he wants. Or he can try. This is Tango, right? Or is that Tango? Hold on. Zoom. Stop. Why is a fucking truck stopped in the way? Whatever. You know what? Fuck it. We're just going to a gate. No, this is Tango. Alright, black's where you're at. So, this is Tango. Sick. Where's Mike? Oh, Mike is here. Okay. Why is there taxi signs going all the way up to the gate? I don't understand. Never flying to Portland again. Fuck it, we're gonna go park next to this guy. Sue me.
How kid makes things harder, D.
Yeah, the ground control, yeah. At least I'm not trying to put an A380 in there.
For your comfort and safety, please remain seated.
I forgot to play the announcement.
Until the captain turns off the seatbelt sign.
Alright, parking brakes set. APU is on. We can switch the APU gen on. APU bleed on, turn off engine bleeds. Set the isolation valve to open. And turn off the hydraulic pumps. And the probes.
American
And
Airlines
the
and
yaw
our
dampener.
World Alliance partners, thank you for flying with us today. We
Then
hope
we
to
turn
see
off
you
taxi
again
light.
soon on another American Airlines
And
flight.
green light. And wheel light.
Welcome to, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be arriving at gate
And we
T9,
can
and
shut the
your
engines
baggage
down.
claim will be number 10. Baggage claim for American
Wait
Airlines
for those to
here,
stop
and that
spinning.
is
We can set the
across
wheel
from
shocks.
gate T12 down the escalators. The escalators across from gate T12. Down those escalators.
Right, because they can
carousel
still
number 10.
hurt someone.
On behalf
right?
of
They're
all the
still
employees
spinning.
of American Airlines, we'd like to
Sucking in
thank you
lots
for
of
flying
air.
with us. And once again, thank you for flying American Airlines, a member of the One World Alliance.
Alright. They still spinning pretty fast. Alright. We can set the chocks. Release the parking brakes. Request ground power, request jetway. And we can request all the loading trucks. And once ground power is available, we can switch to that. And we can turn the APU off. Turn that light off. Turn the anti-collision light off and the logo light off. Turn all the gens off. Fuel pumps off. Crossfeed off. And we can disarm the electric and turn the battery off. And then we can turn ground power off. And that's it. That's the flight. Alright, let me save it. Complete flight.
That was cool.
Nice.
Thank you for the trip.
You're welcome. Alright, now I have to figure out how to port that over. But in the meantime, I'm scared to change scenes because I don't want it to crash. Let's go see what Clappy is up to.
So backwards.
Thanks for hanging out. I'm turning the volume down. Bam. Alright.
My thank you for the stream.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I always like doing flight sim streams. I can do them more, but I just don't know how many people would be interested in them, so. Alright, well, y'all take it easy.
Have a nice day, LP.
Thanks. I'm gonna go to the climbing gym. Gonna climb. And then, yeah. We might be back tomorrow morning, possibly with some guitar. We'll see. We'll see. In the meantime, y'all take it easy. I will catch you next time. Don't work too hard.
We